and this might be more fitting for your talents if it's something you want to do.
He gives her a fucking weird ass look at this point.
I just.
This is Kieran trying to do subtle.
And
It's not
then
very
just
great.
blatantly look at Kieran, just like deadpan, just.
I don't know what you want from me.
To which she responds saying,
Yes, Nancy.
to which
I have no deception.
to which she responds
us do.
saying, he says Nancy, and there's like a slight flick of a smile in the corner of her mouth, and she's like, I think first and foremost, Bellum and I should go in and check out that House Cannith enclave and see if there's anything of value there. We can kind of figure things out along the way.
Seeing her kind of defer my
I
look
really
and
think
say
you should
that,
bring Stalwart with you if you can turn invisible. Because can either one of you detect magical items?
She looks at Stalbor and says, do you think it's a good idea for you to finish what you're doing, or to...
I would really like to finish what I'm doing.
I will let you know what we come across in fine detail if we can't take it with us.
yes. And while I can't detect magical items, I could definitely find things that are of worth.
They had gems that exploded. I would like
It's House Cannith. Everything's gonna be magical.
And he'll like lean in. Well, if there's gems, explosive or not, I'll probably take those two.
Kieran will nod to that.
Awesome.
How do they
Stalwart looks
explode?
approvingly.
How do they explode? He asks Kieran.
I don't know. It has to be a trigger of some sort set off by a
There's a
timer.
ring sound.
All right, ringing sound.
they
It's the
explode.
gems.
When he says there's a ringing sound, actually, N will kind of like sharply, because he obviously he said it very deadpan, N will sharply say, perhaps we should go and look for the gems instead of discuss them.
Agreed.
Peace.
Let's head out.
Dave?
See ya.
And she will start walking with you.
He'll turn to Stalwart and say, "Was there anything you needed? You said you needed to spend coin in the city."
I didn't
He'll-
say anything to you.
He'll just nod to that, like, all right, and just turn around and keep walking.
So she starts walking with you towards the city. She's quiet. I don't know if you say anything to her.
If she like stays really quiet, like probably when we get halfway there, I'm like, so N is it? Kind of condescendingly a little bit.
Sometimes Karen refers to me that way. It's not my name.
You said that last time. And keeps walking.
Did he say you said that last time?
I just said you said that last time. Yep. And
Yeah, because of what happened
Yeah,
when he.
I know.
Yeah.
So
That's not my name.
so she's walking with you as like, obviously picks it up. She's walking with you and until you guys get to the gates, and you guys go in and eventually make your way over to where the enclave was. When you guys get close, I mean, obviously you know how good you are at stealth and whatnot. Obviously you know that, but she actually will kind of like stopping at a building nearby where you guys are trying to like be inconspicuous, and she'll actually say to you, "Wait right here."
Sure. While she does, I'll like reach down and start playing with my boots.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
In which I'm going to be using my boots to change any prints I leave to look like an elf has left these prints.
Awesome. So she just walks away, doesn't notice that you're doing that, and makes her way across the street. And it's one of those things where she just walks across the street and walks right in the door. Doesn't look, doesn't check to see if there's anybody watching, doesn't even seem to stop to look for anything. Just walks across the street and walks right in the door.
Okay. I wait where I am, kind of just like I'm tying my boots up, making it seem like I've been down for a reason.
A minute passes. How long are you willing to wait?
I'd probably wait like 3 to 4 minutes before I get antsy.
Okay. So I would flash forward to that 4 minutes have passed and you haven't seen or heard from her yet.
I don't know that this is the house, right? I don't know this.
Oh,
is
you
a
know.
specific place
You were here
oh,
before. Yeah, you looked in the window before.
Okay. So
It also probably has a House Cannith logo on it.
And there's also, like a blown apart door and shattered glass and, because there was a sonic boom on the inside.
right. I want to walk up and just kind of like inconspicuously just peer.
It'd be
in
like
and
crime
see,
scene tape if it existed,
I wanna just peer in to see if what's happening essentially.
Sure.
It may exist in Eberron. Maybe in Shan.
That's true.
Sean definitely has crime scene tape. Yes.
When you could you roll for me a perception check, please?
Sure.
Okay. So you're go around there and you peer in and you actually do see something. It's there's somebody moving around in there. It's a small, slender shape moving around, kind of checking things out. You hear like a shift of something over there, a few boot prints across the way. It's a very, very light foot, though. It's a very trained light foot. It's one of those things where you notice it because you're very keen, but you actually rolled well enough to notice that the only reason why you noticed it is because you're keen.
Right. I would give like a quick like 10-second look around to see if anyone notices me, and then I would slip in if it seems as though no one's noticing me. Do you want another perception roll for that?
Sure. Honestly, you don't notice anybody viewing or watching the area. Nobody seems to be like posted in a building across the way or anything like that, watching here or watching you.
I try to slip in as like not super stealthy, but just trying to like fit in. So I just I'm just trying to walk in.
Okay, why don't you you said you're not trying to be stealthy then?
I mean, I'm trying to look like I belong more than I'm trying to stealth.
So
I guess
then
that's
it's a
technically
deception.
stealth.
It's deception.
All right, then I have disadvantage. Deception. Where's deception? Where is it? There you
It's
are.
like, not supposed to be in here, guys. So,
that's
if
fine.
anybody was watching you, you're not very good at hiding your purpose because you
Right,
walked
but
right in
I
the
already-
front door as opposed to slinking
why
in
I
through a
made
window
sure
or
it
whatever.
was-
Yep. No, you're good. And you looked first, so you believe you snuck in there without anybody
Right.
really noticing. Okay, cool. So you make your way into the building. As soon as you do so, you again because you're keen ears, you hear like a quick step and slide of the foot, and then absolutely nothing. You hear nothing whatsoever. It's like dead silent in there.
I'm just gonna say N.
Then you'll hear like two light steps, and you hear after like a moment. Roll me a perception check one more time.
Yeah, no problem.
Lower this time. So after like two steps and then a couple of moments, then finally you hear a response in her voice saying, "I told you that's not my name.
It's the only name I know to call you by.
It is Nilly.
I can see where they get the N from."
That's where they choose to use it."
I nod. Okay. What'd you find?
A few things, but nothing really worth screaming or shouting about. Did something happen?
Nope. You didn't tell me where you were going, other than to wait. I waited. Enough time passed. Decided to come in.
I'm sorry for not telling you where I was going. I thought it was a little obvious. Why
I
don't,
just didn't get why I wasn't joining.
why don't you check upstairs while I continue checking here? I'm almost done searching the area, and it's better to not retrace our steps.
I will do that. Can I do an insight check to see if she's like withholding information?
Sure, go right ahead. You're actually getting a little something off of her. Like it's like she's obviously get a little bit of like, why did you join? Like you weren't asked to, but it's actually something like almost like, why did you join? You weren't supposed to. Like
Right.
it's bad
yeah,
that you're here.
I get you. So like I'll be like, I'll tell her it sounds like a good idea, and I'll walk to go upstairs. But I want to very keenly look to see if it seems like she had possibly gone upstairs already.
Sure. Roll me an investigation check for that one. And I think, do you get bonuses on that?
Gathering information about people is my bonus. So that's up to you, sir.
Gather information about people.
I would say no.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not tracking. So
Yeah. So,
that's more of like investigation to like ask people about people.
Yep, that's fine.
Looking at the footprints and everything, you don't think there's anything recent going up there. Like the freshly settled dust doesn't show
Right.
any footprints going upstairs.
Then I will go upstairs.
Okay. So you go upstairs for a little bit and start rolling me in. Actually,
I'm gonna
Actually,
cast a spell.
yeah, yes, you are. So, the idea is, and I forgot to double check the ruling of 5e on this because the spell is based off of old rules. So the idea is that in older D&D, to make a search check, or in slightly more recent D&D or whatever Pathfinder, to make a just a perception check to find something. It actually takes, what is it? I think it's 10 minutes for a 10-foot square because you're like actively checking every little nook and cranny and trying to find all the da 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 da. And oh, look, how else did I find the secret little lock cubby door from inside of a drawer in the back of a dresser? It wasn't in less than 6 seconds of one die roll, right? So the idea of the spell when it was originally created, Sift, was you do that whole check in less than 6 seconds in one casting of a spell. And so that's actually what this does for you. However, you get to use your passive investigation as opposed to perception is what it'd be for searching for small things, right? So your passive investigation is what?
Hold on, what's my investigation? So it's 10 plus 5. What is investigation? 10 plus 4, 24 is my passive investigation.
Normally? Or with the
So
spell?
I have a plus 10 not because of the spell, because of my dragon mark. So that's 20.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4 because of my investigation is a plus 4. So 24 is my investigation.
Gotcha. And it's perception with advantage against DC of any hidden features such as trapdoors, blah, blah, blah. This might make it a 29. We're going to have to double check the ruling on that one, honestly. But so just to make sure things are good. But I know that yours already is like blah, blah, blah. So anyways.
No, I think it's just a 24. Right?
I will check the ruling on it later on. It doesn't matter at the moment. You rolled very well with your spell. It's a spell. So you activate your spell, and all of a sudden you just kind of like throughout the room, you just kind of like look throughout the room and allow the magics to eat from your body. And the way it works is your mark of finding, which almost looks like an arrow on your body. For a moment, you kind of like breathe in the air, and then you breathe out the magics. And you can actually see the waves of magic burst across the room. And in a couple little spots, the magic, for your eyes only, not for anybody else to be able to see this, the magic seems to glow in a few different spots throughout the room. And so immediately you know, oh, there's something of interest here, or something of note. Right. And so you go over to the first little glowy area of magic, and you lift up and you see that, oh, right here is inside this drawer, there's a few items of value. There's like a book of notes from the artificers that worked here, and some like information about like what the kind of stuff that they were working on, so on and so forth, upstairs. When you go over to the next room to see what's happening, sorry, it's the next room, my apologies. The next area where there's a little bit of a glow, you're actually able to see that this is a small little cupboard that was wizard's supplies. And so you actually find a wizard's book inside of there, as well as a couple of other scrolls and some ingredients and components and whatnot. And then over in another area, you're able to see that there's actually a false catch inside of a wall. So when you go over and you kind of like grab at one of the knots, you can kind of wiggle free the panel that's there. And actually behind there, you can find some illegal drugs that were hidden in like this little false catch. The type of drug that it is something that's usually boiled down and then drank. If you're like newer to the drug, you kind of like inhale it, the fumes of it, but the more like hard users of the drug will drink it and take it in straight, and it's like a hallucinogenic, and it's very, very addictive. So you do find a cache of those drugs, but that's like all you find in this area up here where you use the spell.
I will take all of that.
Okay. A little peyote,
especially the drugs. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna take all that, and because I knew that I would kind of get all that quicker than she would expect me to, because I found it all very quickly, I want to try to walk downstairs as stealthily as possible, and I want to cast the spell again downstairs and try to kind of peek what she's doing without her noticing.
So this time you're going to try to use it for perception, because the whole idea of Sift is supposed to be for investigations, like find things. So are you trying to find the items, or are you trying to see her?
So I want to first find the items. I want to use it to find items, and then I want to watch her and see if she's going. If she never even goes to the areas that I can tell are the obvious areas.
Okay, use your spell.
What I mean? All right. So I cast Sift, and then.
Okay, so you walk down the room and you're looking across the area, and almost nothing stands out from inside here, except for underneath the big pile of debris. You can feel a faint glow coming from underneath the big pile of debris down there. It's one of those things where if you want to get to whatever's underneath that pile, you're gonna have to move some pretty heavy stuff. It's obviously gonna be loud and whatnot. However, like, you're aware of the fact that something is underneath that pile of debris. But can we go back a step? You said you wanted to roll stealth to make your way downstairs. Could you roll that for me?
Correct. Absolutely.
Oh, that danced around a little while, huh?
I know, I was
Jesus.
scared.
Wow, it's like 17. So
1-7, yeah, 1-7.
yeah. So you make your way down the stairs, trying to be as absolutely quiet as possible. You kind of like look around the room. You don't see her immediately or hear her immediately, and so you activate your dragon mark and throw the powers out there. You notice what I just mentioned. What do you do?
I'm gonna wait and try to watch to see what she does. Like, I don't see her immediately, so I'm gonna wait where I am in my stealthy position and try to just observe what she's doing. Like, I'll look out to see if she's there. If she's not there, I'll just listen very keenly. When I think she's within eyesight, I'll look over to see what she's doing.
Perception check.
Yep.
Okay, so with your perception, you are looking around for a long while, and you don't hear anything or see anything. She is not noticed at all. Like, she's completely not seen or heard at all.
Okay.
Do you like
I'll
look further, or are you like?
No, I'm gonna come downstairs, but I'm going to like be very very obvious that I'm there now. I'm not trying to stealth at all. I want her to notice me, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna walk down and be like, "Did you find anything down here?" In a kind of like a loud whisper.
Roll me a perception check.
She's just gone completely.
You don't.
Damn it.
After several moments, like a long pause, solid 10 seconds, and you might even speak again between here and there. Finally, you hear her say from closer than you would have expected, but nearby, 5 or 6 feet away. Everything that I think I'd be able to find. If this place has a foundation, I don't know how to get into it.
I'll point over to the rubble and say, "I feel that there's something of power down there. There's some rubble. We might make some noise, but it might be worth going for."
If it's underneath that, then, well, there's a reason I didn't disturb it. That would make a considerable amount of noise.
1 second. I want to check something really quickly before I reply.
She actually heads over to that area a little bit while your character's sitting there and thinking for a second. She heads over like close by and then kind of like gets down on a knee and starts like looking at the ground, not immediately at the rubble, but the ground itself, the floor itself.
I'll nod. I'll go actually. So I'll like be like, "Yeah, it's gonna make noise, but if we're very stealthy, we might be able to take care of it." And then I'll say, "Here," and I'll walk up to her and cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay, so you cast a spell.
And say, "We're gonna have to move this rock, but we're gonna have to be as silent when we move it as possible."
No. To move any of the rock, as quiet as our feet may be or her hands may slide, it'll cause other rubble to shift. We shouldn't do this. I don't think it's a good idea. But look, and she points to the ground. The ground itself is not solid. It's got spaces, gaps between the wood.
I nod to that. I will look at the floorboard. I don't think any. Let me see what I got.
Do you have a shovel?
I definitely don't have a shovel. I'm trying to see what I didn't put in what pack I have.
Crowbar would be good. It's like the exact purpose for it.
No, I know.
Do you have an adventurous pack? Because that might have a
That's the
crowbar in it.
thing. I don't think that I get an adventurer's pack with my background because it's
You don't get packs with backgrounds usually. You buy them separate, right? Usually.
No, you get them with your background usually.
Yeah, you get as part. Yeah, you get a part.
Well, I don't.
Every
yeah, I
first
don't-
level character gets a pack. of
Right,
sorts.
I don't know what pack I have. I didn't write it down.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
part of the background.
So
if
so
I have a
e-
crowbar, I would use
let's
it.
assume you pull out a crowbar, and to which she
Yeah.
gives you like a plain look, like a. And that's going to be much quieter.
I mean, removing floorboards is better than moving the rock, you said.
But have you seen the size of the nails that
I mean,
We're
you can
not-
just get us out of it.
we're not slinking through the woods hoping not to be heard by a deer or noticed by a hawk.
I'm
We
like,
are
I actually interrupt her at that point. I'm like, you're right. This isn't my forte. This isn't what I'm used to. This isn't my thing.
but this is Kieran's.
Coming in here and being quiet is Kieran's?
Finding things might be what you have been gifted with, but all manner of air is Kieran's.
Now, hear me out. We don't belong in here.
Correct.
If someone comes and we are here, that's bad.
Correct.
If someone comes and you're here, but you don't look like you, that might be okay.
I'm saying that if Stalbor has the ability to turn Kieran invisible, she might be able to get in here without any aid. And then she can get through and find whatever it was that you had discovered. And then Kieran can leave the way she did before. Very loud. But safe.
He lets out like a very not a defeated sigh, but just like an annoyed sigh. If that's what you think's best.
Apparently it doesn't matter what I think, because apparently I'm deceptive and lying to you about who I am.
It's not necessarily you lying about who you are. I don't care who you are. It's more so you didn't seem like you wanted me in here with you.
Should
What's
we
the reasoning behind that?
should we have this conversation now? Let's have this
Perhaps.
conversation now.
Perhaps on our way out. And I will just turn to walk out the door. This time I am going to try to be stealthy.
Okay? Like out a back window or whatever.
Yeah, and it's a +10 whatever I get.
It's a
That's
23.
conspicuous.
So she will go to slink out the window as well, but it's one
Shut
of
the
those.
window.
Well, the window's blown open by Kieran.
I know.
So she slinks out. She slinks out the window as well. Obviously, very noticeable by you because you guys are together.
Right.
But equally silent. And you can start walking your way. To which she doesn't say anything. At least not at first. It starts walking your way back out of the city.
Yeah, I'd wait until we get into the woods before I address her again.
Sure. What do you say?
The conversation seems appropriate now.
Who are you?
My name's Bellum.
Yes, we've gotten that far. But you're also conveniently a gatekeeper.
I
That's what
wouldn't
they're...
say it's convenient. I would say I was a gatekeeper. Not even a gatekeeper. I was looking to become a gatekeeper. I was looking for my brethren when I came across a very loud group who seemed to know where they were. I took advantage of that to find where they were. Yes, I'm great at finding things. However, my people are great at hiding. So while I could have found them given a lot of time, I took the easy way out and I got information from these people. I went and I met with my people.
My concern isn't about whether or not you can hide your tracks, it's whether or not you can hide your motives.
I'm pretty transparent.
Yes, you're coming
If I
off
don't
as
wanna-
transparent.
If I don't want to answer you, I won't. And if I want to answer you, I will. That's pretty much what you'll get out of me.
You don't know the people that you've just recently come across. However, each one of them is in their own fragile state at the moment. The time that you met with them, they lost a friend of theirs. I wouldn't call him a friend of mine, but the details aren't important. They lost a friend of theirs. And you're a little heavy-footed, and it's too convenient. They're going to be suspicious of you. We all are. So if you intend to work with us for any amount of time, preferably less than more, then perhaps you should lessen up a little bit and just be careful with how you speak.
Lessen up how? I know you're saying be careful with how I speak. What's wrong with how I speak?
Just tread lightly. They're all more sensitive than any of them are willing to admit.
So you're saying don't be rude.
I'm just saying tread lightly. Let's
All
take
right.
care of the Storian. Let's solve the problem, and then we can all move on.
I agree. And believe me, when I say I want what's best for your group, it's not solely because there's some type of big conspiracy. It's not just convenient that I'm here. I do have invested interest in this group doing well.
You say that, but Kieran thinks everything's a conspiracy. Kieran probably thinks you're a changeling.
Karen's a bit too chaotic for her own liking.
Yeah, apparently that's, a thing. But
Yeah, it is.
that doesn't change the facts that, a big conspiracy is exactly what at least one of them thinks, if not all of them. So probably
I've
don't
come to
use
terms
that
with,
as your phrasing to disarm them, because you're probably
I
just
don't
going to make it
plan-
worse.
I don't plan to disarm them. I've gotten quite familiar with Reich. He's told me a bit about the group. And trust me when I say that I know how to handle myself.
You and Reich went and saw them together, didn't you?
I just nod.
Let's rejoin with the rest of the party.
Yes, that was a great way to defer me asking about why you didn't want me in there.
Oh, because I don't trust you.
It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. I'm a pretty simple person.
It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that.
Simple
It's
as that.
simple as that. Yeah.
If there's any skill that N is good at, it is deception.
Trust me, I know that she's very good at that.
It's one of those things
I was hoping
where
that
if
maybe
she
I
was a
could be better.
if she was a PC character, her advantage would be hiding identity. But
Yeah.
but that's not,
I just kind of like stare at her blank faced for a few seconds because I'm trying to kind of read her. And upon realizing I don't have a read, I will just, all right. And I turn and I start walking directly toward where the group is in the fastest route possible.
Okay. So she will follow your step because you obviously know the woods better than she does, even if things like this you could figure out. But so you're gonna go and rejoin the group. But as you rejoin with them, why don't we take our first break? We have been playing for about an hour now, so why don't we take our first break? I forgot to grab a bottle of water before I went live the first time, so I'm gonna get myself some water.
Rookie mistake.
All right, I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. 5 minutes.